Confidence is one of the most basic requirements in any type of relationship, be it a friendship, a romantic relationship, or a family member. For this reason, in this video, I will discuss 7 characteristics of people you can never trust, according to Stoic philosophy. First, observe if a person fits into one of these characteristics I will mention. Observation is necessary, but it's relatively easy. Just analyze the person's speech and actions to get an idea of who they are and what their essence is. So, making that clear, I will comment on each of these types of people and explain why you should not trust them. Before we begin, please check your subscription to the channel. Watch until the end because at the end I have something special to deliver to you. Stay until the end. Let's move on to the first type of person, narcissists. When dealing with narcissistic people, Stoic teachings remind us of the importance of not letting other people's behavior affect our inner peace. Practicing indifference towards their egocentric actions allows us to maintain our mental peace amidst their vanity. Think about it. If a person is always talking about themselves and hardly cares about others, it's unlikely they are someone you can trust. They only have eyes for themselves and always put others' needs second, no matter who it is. You can't trust narcissistic people because they make their own image the most important thing in the world. They don't want anyone to be better or equal to them. They are the kind of people who will do anything to continually improve their own image. And this compulsive act of desiring and admiring themselves is extremely dangerous, because it's impossible to know what this person is capable of doing to maintain their image. Typically, these are people who make others take the blame for their mistakes. So, don't trust people who talk too much about themselves and only want to impose their opinions on others without listening to anyone, because these are people who can harm you at any moment to get what they want. The second type of person is the gossip. Stoicism also teaches us how to deal with gossip and hurtful words from people. Historians emphasize the need not to give power to others' opinions about us. If someone reveals secrets or shares information about another person, it's highly likely they will do the same to you, talking about you and your life behind your back. Believe me, it's almost certain that this kind of thing will happen around a gossip. It's not just a habit, but an action done for pure pleasure. So don't think that just because someone is your friend, they won't tell your secrets to someone else. Don't make that mistake. The only advantage you can get from a gossip is if you want information to spread. In that case, you just need to tell the gossip and they will do all the work for you. The third type is the person who constantly annoys you. When it comes to dealing with annoying or manipulative people, Stoicism offers us the practice of self-reflection. Instead of reacting emotionally, we can stop and think about how our own perceptions and reactions influence the situation. It's one thing when you're going through a tough time in your life and easily lose patience with someone, not because of the person, but because of the daily stress you're facing. It's a completely different situation when you're calmer but constantly get annoyed around a specific person. If that person can constantly annoy you, it's because they subtly provoke you, planting ideas that confuse you and feed your doubts subtly little by little in small doses, so you can't fully understand their emotional and psychological games. Believe me, people who act like this do it for pure pleasure. So, be cautious of subtle games, because if a person can annoy you all the time, it's because they're poking at you with gestures and words and you don't even realize it. The fourth type is indecisive people. When it comes to indecisive people, Stoicism encourages us to focus on what we can control, our own decisions and actions. It's easy to explain why these people are not trustworthy. How can you trust someone who is always hesitating about which decision to make? If they can't even set a course for their own lives, how can you trust them? They are also completely unpredictable because you don't know exactly what their decisions will be, since their own personality is not fully formed. They are indecisive individuals because they don't have a strong enough personality to act and choose the path they want to follow. To be straightforward about this point, trusting an indecisive person is like trusting a child with a knife. You don't know what they will do when you're not present. The fifth type is two-faced people. When it comes to two-faced people, Stoicism would advise caution. Instead of worrying about their actions, we can focus on cultivating virtue within ourselves. You've probably had an experience like this. These are people who seem to like you but spread rumors about you behind your back. and this behavior extends to others as well. So don't be surprised when others speak ill of you. One moment, they're smiling and being friendly, and the next moment, they're talking negatively about you. What I recommend is that when you start noticing this kind of behavior, it's best to remove that person from your life as quickly as possible. Don't miss the opportunity to master your emotions. The sixth type is people who are always involved in many problems. Stoics encourage us to take responsibility for our decisions and emotions instead of blaming luck or circumstances. These people live with problems and intrigues. They say they have bad luck and that life is just punishment. Every day they claim that a new difficulty arises, and each day seems to bring a new consequence. The person is there telling everyone that they don't know what's happening, that everything is difficult, and so on. Be polite with this type of person. There's nothing wrong with being sympathetic, because if a person is full of problems, it's not a coincidence. It's not the universe conspiring against them, but rather the person sabotaging themselves. They probably make more bad decisions, don't learn from their mistakes, and likely don't control their own emotions. So, I advise caution with this type of individual, because if you sympathize with their sad and difficult story, to the point where you always want to help, their problem can quickly become your problem. The seventh type is people who pretend to listen to what you say. In situations where people pretend to listen, Stoicism would advise us to be assertive and, if necessary, distance ourselves from conversations that do not enrich us. You know that type of person who, when you say something and try to share an idea, responds with a simple, "Yes, I understand," and nothing more? This can be annoying and even disrespectful. The worst is when the person talks about what they want, and when it's your turn to speak, they simply pretend to listen, get distracted with their phone, or agree without really caring about what you're saying. In other words, they heard you, but they're not really paying attention. Let's be honest, the minimum requirement in a conversation is for the person to pay attention to what you're saying. Otherwise, it's not a conversation. So, if one day you're talking to someone and realize that the person is not paying attention, or worse, starts using their phone while you talk, clearly showing that they're not listening to what you're saying, then simply stop talking. It's not worth talking to walls. If the person is not paying attention or is just pretending, don't waste your time. In that case, get up and say you're leaving. After all, you're not obligated to spend your time with people who aren't interested in what you're saying. In summary, analyzing the different types of people who can undermine trust provides us with valuable lessons in the pursuit of more authentic and meaningful relationships. By incorporating Stoic teachings, we learn to maintain our inner peace, cultivate virtue, practice authenticity, and exercise self-control in challenging situations. That's all for today. We've reached the end of this video, and I sincerely hope these tips are of great use to you. Don't forget that you are a crucial part of this channel. So if this video has helped you think or learn something, leave a like and a comment so that more people can discover the powers of Stoic wisdom. If you have nothing to comment, simply write "Seeking Wisdom," so I know you watched until the end. And if you haven't already subscribed, remember that every little step counts in your personal development process. Keep moving towards victory. Thank you very much for your attention. May everyone be with the Creator.